Welcome back the rare and valuable coins today. We're diving deep into the world of silver Washington quarter dollars. But not just any quarters, we're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. So let's get started. First, up the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with a Philadelphia P mint mark in fine condition. We'll discuss the coin's history, its composition, and, most importantly, its current value in today's auction market. Let's get started. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It has been a staple in American coinage ever since. However, unlike earlier quarters minted primarily from silver, by 1983, the quarter was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than silver. The 1983 Washington quarter with the P mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. It is important to note that by 1983, quarters were no longer made from silver. The silver-clad quarters ended in 1964. The 1983 quarter is composed of copper and nickel, making it a common coin for circulation. A coin in fine condition shows moderate wear, but the major details are still visible. For the 1983 quarter, the date and mint mark are clear, and some of Washington's hair details and the eagle on the reverse remain distinct, though softened from circulation. So, what is the value of a 1983 Washington quarter with P mint mark in fine condition in today's auction market? Since this coin is copper-nickel clad and quite common, its value is generally close to face value, around $28,000, however. Some collectors seek well-preserved coins or specific varieties, which may slightly increase the price to around 50 cents to $100. Factors that might affect the value include coin condition, eye appeal, any minting errors, or unusual toning. Coins with damage or heavy wear tend to sell for less, while those with collectible features can command a premium. If you have a 1983 Washington quarter in fine condition, it's best to keep it protected in a coin holder. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can reduce its value. When selling, use reputable auction platforms and provide clear images and accurate descriptions to get the best price. Next up today, we're taking a close look at a popular collectible, the 1990 Washington quarter dollar with Denver D mint mark, in very fine condition. We'll discuss its history, silver content, and most importantly, its value in today's auction market. Let's dive right in. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. This design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, remained in circulation for decades. However, by 1965, the composition of the quarter changed from 90% silver to a copper-nickel clad due to rising silver prices. Important to note, the 1990 Washington quarter is not silver. Quarters minted after 1964, including the 1990 issue, are made from copper-nickel clad. Only quarters minted between 1932 and 1964 contain 90% silver. This means that while the 1990 quarter is collectible, its metal value is tied to copper and nickel, not silver. A very fine VF grade indicates the coin has moderate wear, but retains a good amount of detail. On a 1990 quarter, you'll still see clear features on Washington's face and hair, as well as details on the eagle on the reverse, though some wear is evident from circulation. In today's auction market, a 1990 Washington quarter with a Denver D mint mark in very fine condition typically sells for around $25,000. This is close to face value, reflecting the coin's copper-nickel composition and mass production. However, coins with exceptional eye appeal or minor errors might fetch a bit more. Coins with rare mint errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, can command a premium. Additionally, uncirculated or proof versions generally carry higher values. But for the average circulated 199 OD quarter, prices remain close to face value if you own a 1990D Washington quarter. It's best to store it in a protective holder to avoid further wear. Avoid cleaning, as that can reduce the coin's value. When selling, provide clear photos and accurate condition descriptions to attract buyers. Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar with a Denver D mint mark in extra fine condition. We'll talk about its history, composition, and, most importantly, its value in today's auction market. Let's get started. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. It has since become one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, originally minted in 90% silver until 1964. The composition changed in 1965 to a copper-nickel clad, which continues today. It's important to note that the 1980 Washington quarter is not silver, unlike quarters minted before 1965. The 1980 quarter is composed of a copper core with a nickel outer layer, known as copper-nickel clad. So, while it shines beautifully, it doesn't have intrinsic silver value. The D mint mark on this quarter indicates it was minted at the Denver Mint. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced over 518 million quarters, making it a common and widely circulated coin. A coin graded as extra fine XF shows light wear on the highest points, but retains nearly all the design details. On the 1980 quarter, you'll notice clear details in Washington's hair and facial features, as well as sharp elements on the eagle. On the reverse so. What is the value of a 1980 Washington quarter with a Denver D mint mark in extra fine condition today? These coins generally sell for around $85 to $100 on the market. While not rare or silver, well-preserved examples may attract collectors who want to complete their sets. Coins with unusual toning, minting errors, or superior eye appeal can command a higher price. Conversely, damaged or heavily worn coins tend to sell closer to face value. If you own a 1980D quarter in extra fine condition, protect it by storing it in a coin holder or capsule. Avoid cleaning it, as that can damage the coin and reduce its value. When selling, provide clear photos and accurate descriptions to attract serious buyers. Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. Notable for its lack of a mint mark and presented here in very fine condition. We'll explore its history, composition, and most importantly, its value in today's auction market. Let's dive right in. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This iconic design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, has been a mainstay in American coinage ever since. One interesting fact about the 1967 Washington quarter is the absence of a mint mark. From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins to discourage hoarding during a coin shortage. So, whether your quarter was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it won't have a mint mark. Now, let's talk about the metal. Unlike quarters minted before 1965, the 1967 quarter is not made of silver. Instead, it's composed of copper-nickel clad, which means a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. The 90% silver quarters ended in 1964. A coin graded very fine VF shows moderate wear but retains clear details. On this 1967 quarter, you'll see most of Washington's hair details and features on the eagle are still visible, though with some softness from circulation. So, what's the value of a 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very fine condition? Since it's copper-nickel clad and widely minted, its value typically ranges from $25,000, slightly above face value, depending on condition and buyer interest. Next up, the 1985 Washington quarter dollar with a Philadelphia P mint mark. Presented here in extra fine condition. We'll cover its history, whether it contains silver, and, most importantly, how much it's worth in today's auction market. Let's get started. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its classic design features Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, a design that has endured for decades. The original quarters, minted from 1932 through 1964, were made of 90% silver. But after 1964, the composition changed. It's important to clarify, the 1985 Washington quarter is not silver. Due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition starting in 1965. This means the 1985 quarter has a copper core with outer layers of nickel, giving it a silver-like shine, but without any actual silver content. The P Mint mark on this coin indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1985, Philadelphia struck over 775 million quarters, making this coin quite common. But condition still matters for collectors. A coin in extra fine XF condition shows light wear on the highest points, with most details still sharp. For the 1985 quarter, you can expect to see fine details in Washington's hair and facial features, as well as clear feather details on the eagle dot. So what is the value of a 1985 P Washington quarter in extra fine condition today? Typically, these coins sell for about $50,000 at auction, depending on eye appeal and the presence of any special toning or minor errors. While common, well-preserved examples are sought after by collectors completing sets, some 1985 quarters with minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchettes can fetch higher prices, sometimes tens or hundreds of to resize. If dollars, also coins with attractive natural toning or exceptional eye appeal might command a premium. If you have a 1985 P quarter, protect it by storing it in a holder or capsule. Avoid cleaning, as that can reduce the coin's value. If you're selling, provide clear photos and an honest description of the condition. Thanks for watching this detailed look at the 1985 UAC quarter dollar with the Philadelphia P Mint mark in extra fine condition. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and leave your comments below. Do you have any 1985 quarters in your collection? Let me know. Until next time, happy collecting!